actually write the code.
Let's say I painted it, right? That's not my strong suit. That's not my core competency.
It don't mean you ain't.
So Lynch, what are you? Which one
I'm
you
not
do?
saying
I do a little bit of everything.
I'm not right, but what is like? What's the thing?
I ain't I'm a jack of all trades.
I know you're a jack of all trades.
I got all three of them. I rock with them.
No, what do you do best? You do one absolutely better than any other.
I think Lynch. I think to answer.
Mic check 1 2. What up, guys?
What is this?
How y'all doing?
This is
How y'all
number
doing?
4.
No,
Number 4.
Yeah,
we got 21 more before we call this.
Before we official.
Before we official. Yeah, we got to do 21 more.
Now, what's magic about 25 episodes?
I don't know. I feel like it's 6 months in. That's like a. Oh, I remember what we said. If we have done this for 6 months, if we drop the episode
and being consistent
for 6 months, there's no way we don't impact people.
Right.
Hey, well, it's no way that hasn't become a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Correct.
For us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's not just a to-do or a chore or appointment or something like that. Like literally.
It is.
Yeah.
And listen,
part of
I am
life.
proud of you brothers for being here every week on time, chilling. Like we've done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know we some busy folks.
Yeah, come hell or high water.
And I will say it is easy for me. I walk out the house. I do about 32
You're in the
steps.
backyard. You're in the backyard.
I go to the backyard and go in this building. So I appreciate you guys driving from another city in here and having to drive back at night.
Yo, this is my energy, bro.
Yeah, I swear.
Like,
I swear.
I look forward to this during the
driving home, but it's my energy.
I look forward to this. Now when I plan my trips, I'm like, nah, I got to be home by Wednesday.
Exactly. Like I got to go out of town next week, and I was working with the customer, telling him when I can come and when I can't, and I was like, well, I'll fly in Monday, but I got to leave. I mean, I'll fly in Tuesday, but I got to leave, early Wednesday.
Got to leave early Wednesday.
I got to be back because, like I said, man, this is like my field day. I have a field day every week. You know what I'm saying? Like that middle school field day. So
I think for us, it's allows us just to, because I don't go to the barbershop because I got a barbershop at the house.
Fades and blades
at the crib.
Right.
You guys I'm sure if you go to the barbershop or not, but you probably don't even say much when you go to the barbershop.
Yeah, I talk to my barber.
Your barber, that's it.
Yeah, every now and then.
It's barbershop talk for us.
Yeah,
but with a purpose.
With a purpose, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna shut up now.
So, man, welcome back to the Endgame podcast. I'm Rod Brown.
I'm Max Maxwell.
Hey, and I'm Coach Lynch Hunt.
What's up?
Coach Lynch Hunt. All right, so we're gonna tap in this week, man. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty because a big part of this is making sure we help people with the how, right? With the how. So you made a statement on one of the episodes about one of the ways that you've learned and the ways that people can learn and gain insight is through books, right? But we really didn't give them a book. We didn't say, yo, go check this book out.
That is true.
Right. And so what I did, I went back and I kind of looked at some of the books that have impacted me a great deal. And there's one called Thou Shall Prosper by Daniel Lapin, who is a Jewish rabbi. And he basically just gave the code about the Jewish culture because, the Jewish...
synonymous with business, right?
Synonymous with business,
with money.
Synonymous with wealth. Yeah. And generational wealth. Right. So the Jewish culture, they actually dominate certain industries, right?
Entertainment lawyers.
Exactly.
What else? Also accountants.
Absolutely.
CPAs or accountants to help you with make sure your money moves right.
Yeah. Banking. I mean, they're just certain industries and that they just dominate. And he just gave kind of the blueprint.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So he gave the blueprint.
Shout out to my Jewish plug.
You got a Jewish
in New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got the plug. I don't have you got a jewelry plug?
Did you see my wife's ring? Did you see my wife's ring?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't paid attention.
That's
to it.
300,000. That's a 5 carat. That's a crystal clear. That's the clearest.
My heart just skipped a beat, man.
That's the clearest rock you can get.
Was that the VV or VS?
No, it's called. I think I'm gonna lie, but I think it's called like a flawless something.
Yeah.
K something crazy, and it's like it's wild.
Wow,
it's wild.
Wow. It's got to be.
All right, so we need to get security for May now because you just told
they don't want to do that.
How much her ring is.
This is short.
So Daniel, this just Jewish rabbi, he pretty much gave the code for, the Jewish, like I said, the culture. Help me with this real quick.
Yeah.
So I know Jews it's not a race, right?
That's true.
So because I can become Jewish and study and become a part of the religion, but I'm black, so I can become a black Jew. So I know it's not a race. So is it a culture? Is it a religion? And I'm sure folks that are watching.
I think it's a culture.
I say let's get into the principles.
We're gonna get into the principles
because if not, we about to be canceled.
This is I'm trying to understand. Seriously.
No, it's true.
I got you. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the one this time.
Okay.
All right. Listen, I'll take the brunt, but this is nothing negative. Like we're trying to figure out, is it a culture? Because I know people who say they are Jewish but don't practice the Jewish faith.
Judaism,
they're Jewish. They're Jewish by being born into Judaism and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't think they actually practice. So I think that's a good question. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
I know when somebody's like Jewish, they're just like.
So I'm going to say culture most of the time. So if I'm saying culture and it's wrong, I
it's
apologize,
definitely that can't be a wrong answer. It might be part of the right thing.
Gotcha. So again, he gives the code, he gives the blueprint, right? Mm-hmm. So what I want to do is just kind of walk through like 9 principles that he shares, and I want y'all opinion and how, if at all, did you apply any of these principles in your own journey to success, right? And to prosperity. The first one is education, and as it relates to how important is education to business, and how important is education to obtaining wealth. And when I hear education, I think college.
I was about to ask that question.
And so that is you have a whole set of folks out here that say
the world.
Yeah. Well, no. You got a whole bunch of people out here that say college is a waste of time.
You're about ready to go in.
Because we take young people. We have young people who spend 4 years of their life, and oftentimes they leave with 6 figures of debt to go get a $50,000 a year job.
If that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take on education tied directly to obtaining wealth? And
everybody should grab something to take notes with for these principles to at least jot them down.
Yeah, because there's 10 of them?
There's nine. I think you said the first one was education. So we're going on education now just so they can catch up, get their phone, whatever it is they're taking notes with, and boom.
And I'm not saying education is, and even in the book, he didn't say education is a must or college education is a must to obtaining wealth. But oftentimes it's actually a myth that the Jewish community believes that, you have to have, an Ivy League education in order to obtain wealth, in order to have a strong business. So as it relates to education, how has your life or your path to wealth or to business been affected by education?
Well, what I will say is that formal education did not play a part in my path.
Okay.
Dyslexic, barely held a 2.0, 1.9 to be exact, going through high school, did not ever take the SATs. I know that was a double negative, but I never took the SATs because I knew the college, at least from what I knew, I could never get into anywhere.
Gotcha.
You since have told me that was not true, but you said Winston State or anybody would have took me.
Yeah.
But I don't believe so. So formal education did not play a role. So I got to see my friends, but I went to the military. And I gained certain disciplines, but education-wise, this day and time, education is something that you can obtain without the formality of school.
Absolutely, I agree.
I say all the time, I say all the time that people are afraid to invest in themselves, whether it's a course or whether it's some type of whatever it is, they're afraid to go spend the $5 or $10 to go learn a specialty skill with something that's outside of an institution, because we've been trained so much to believe that you have to get the education through a formal institution.
Yeah.
Now, I go on and on with this, but most of the time, if you go get a business degree, business administration, usually an undergrad or something like that,
right?
Your professor has never owned a business.
Never owned a business. Right.
But you want to take what he is reading out of a book word for word.
Right.
And most of the time, the people that wrote that book that he's reading out of have never owned a business.
Absolutely.
They usually are underpaid per their profession, period.
Right.
And so that's the way we've been trained for so long that education has to come through this formal way. Most successful people, and I mean the ultra wealthy, send their kids to these institutions for the relationships that they get from these institutions, because the education that these kids have was already given to them before they get to school.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Now, the relationships at like an Ivy school, ridiculous.
Right.
You can get put on just because, you went to Yale, I went to Yale, and we can put each other on just because of that fact. But I agree 100%. I remember my son, Ben, he's 22 now, and he's still in school, and he didn't want to go to school. But he went to school because he felt the pressures of everybody saying, you got to go to school, you should go to school. But I'll never forget one time, his senior in high school, he was like, Dad, I don't need to go to school. Ask me anything about anything. Right? He said, my school has been YouTube. Because he spent hours and hours and hours, diving into YouTube about multiple different subjects.
With purpose.
With purpose.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Intention.
And I believe college, there is some educational aspect. I went to college. I got to the business degree with a concentration in information systems. But I don't think I can regurgitate much of anything from that experience. But I can tell you about a whole bunch of other stuff that I learned by being at college away from home. I think college teaches you how to learn, but as far as, going to get that degree to go do the thing, I don't think it's a requirement.
So here's what I think. I think that what we should do is basically get people to define education themselves. Because just listening to, both of y'all talk about, education, you clearly have, a standard or a definition of what you believe education is. And I think if we can kind of broaden our perspectives on what education actually is, then I think we can understand that we can get it anywhere. And I think that's why, what you were talking about earlier is so important, the journey, and you're saying like, go to college, but that experience is actually going to teach you other things. And that is education as well. So it doesn't necessarily even have to mean, investing in a course or, just doing book work or reading something, and all of that doesn't,
or just spending time with somebody in the field that you want to go.
We just have to get people to understand how to break the old semantics. Like we'll argue for days because of the way we define something. And if we can get people to kind of break the mold of the way they're traditionally taught what education is, I think that, people will be able to learn from any and everything, and will walk away with like literally like a master's degree.
So the key is learning, and where we get that learning from.
That's what it is. Changing the word.
Yo, here's I just looked it up, what it means.
What?
It says, education is the process of receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or university.
Systematic instruction.
That's the reason why.
But it says the point that gets me is especially at a school or university.
Yes.
Right.
Because that definition has been programmed to us and then passed down, and that's why we kind of say, look, you're going to college, or you need to go to college, or like
I say that, but it's like I want you to be by yourself in that environment, having to figure stuff out on a day-to-day basis. Not so much I need you to go get that degree.
College gives you that social experiment that you need as an adult. But I feel like I don't care whenever I do have kids, God willing, that I'm not going to say I hope they don't say they want to go to school, but I don't care whether they do or not.
Right. Yeah.
I want to give them that social experiment through, obviously I can't give them everything, but I want to give them that social experiment while they're still at home.
Gotcha.
Or whether they want to join this program or that program or go study abroad for a year or go live abroad for a year. Just do
Oh,
that.
man.
Matter of fact, let dad
Go
give
do
you
that.
$55,000 and go live in Italy.
Exactly.
Go do that.
Yeah. Go back
And then come
throughout
back,
Europe.
right?
Yeah.
And you've kind of figured out what you would learn in this 3 years before, 2 years before you decide what your
And that's
major
what the
is.
military gave you. That's what the military gave you. So that's a whole level of learning, a whole different level of learning.
If I had to pick and choose when I had kids, like you go to college, right? Spend $100,000 to go to college, or I give you $100,000 and you go travel the world and don't come back for 2 years. I'd rather you go travel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the 10 wealthiest people in America, they don't have degrees.
Yeah,
I think
the 10 wealthiest.
Yeah, they don't have degrees.
Well, I think that helps us change our paradigm about formal education.
Right.
But we still, I think you got to let it's subjective. So you have to let the individual run their course with the experience.
Right.
So let me touch on this. Why is education, formal education? Let me say that through higher institutions. Even the name sounds funny. Higher institution. What the hell does that mean? A higher institution,
right?
Like higher debt.
That's what it means. More debt.
It's become. Let me say this.
Drop it.
I am very conscious what I say because of who listens and what position I sit in.
Okay.
So here's a couple things that I never say blatantly without full context.
Okay.
Right. So whoever's going to chop this into a micro piece, don't leave this context out of this conversation out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I never say don't go to college, especially to black folks.
Absolutely.
Too far behind to hear that message.
Right.
I never say don't buy your own house. No, never buy a house because we're too far behind to have that without context. And so I can't say don't go get education. But what I will tell you, there's another way to do this.
Absolutely.
Without going that path.
Absolutely.
But if you got to choose between I don't know and I need to go to college, take your ass to college.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And figure it out while you in there. Hopefully you figure it out while you in there and don't rack up $100,000 debt before you figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be there, be the best you
But
be.
I think it's important though to give those other paths to the goal
Correct.
that you're trying to get to.
Here's my thing.
What do you mean, Gil?
Like
give them options?
Yeah. What are the other options, right?
Yeah.
What are the other options? I went to the military. Would I recommend that somebody goes to the military? Maybe if you have certain disciplines that if you don't possess certain disciplines and you need that, it's a very structured way of learning some disciplines.
Yeah.
Right? We're not in a time of war.
So can you tell somebody to go to the military without the if?
If what?
So the
like you just said, I tell somebody to go to the
path.
military if they don't have the discipline, and everything that came after that. If.
Can I tell
Can you
them-
just say, yo, you should go to the military?
No.
Really? Why?
No, because I
you
don't.
turned out okay.
Yeah, but a lot of people didn't.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Because of the military or because of them?
Because of them.
So would they have not turned out okay if they went a traditional?
It wasn't the
traditional
best
college?
form of learning for them. It wasn't
Okay.
the best. It wasn't the best path for that person.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, literally, y'all. It was the path. Like the path took you to the military because at the time you wasn't trying to learn from school.
Correct.
So this was like, now I have this opportunity to go to the military.
So really, the message is be happy with your path as it relates to
Well, it's not
education,
even-
as long as you're progressing towards your goal.
Well, it's not even be happy because a lot of times we make these choices and we're not even happy in that moment. It's just
Gotcha.
is this is what I think the best choice is for me right now.
Why is happy so damn important?
Because everything at the root,
Happy, yeah.
happiness is at the root of everything.
But at some point, you have to struggle. Like imagine if you grew up and every freaking day was happy.
But you could be happy in the struggle.
That's very few people.
I know, but
That's
but you,
very,
but you-
very, very, very few people.
And I think because they lack.
Nah,
certain
I don't
focus.
think that doesn't
You could
come
be- you
until that doesn't come until you
Later down
get
the
to-
road.
Yeah, later when you get to a certain level of consciousness, then you start to realize that
Nah.
this struggle is needed.
So anybody that's successful, right? They went through their struggle, right?
Yeah.
Most people went through some kind of struggle,
Absolutely.
right? That's successful. And if you ask them, would you change anything about your path or your journey? They say absolutely not.
But did they enjoy it while they was in that mother lover? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So like that, like literally,
Prison
bro,
set you free.
Yeah,
but would you change it?
So check it out. Look, who the want to go back to prison for 10 years?
Nobody.
Who the want to go to solitary confinement
question, though.
for a whole year?
So
now, I became somebody, this, that, and the third. But yo, if I'm on a 27-year detour, dog, like, understand what I'm saying? Like,
I get it.
Like,
I get it. So
who the hell want to be in the middle of the street trying to turn around for 20-something years?
What's the thing though, right?
You think you're not going to get hit by something?
Absolutely. But what's the thing that could replace prison to propel you to where you are right now?
Well, for one, me believing, if I think...
Because you would have stayed on the same path if you didn't get caught.
Check this out real quick. If I sit here and have the audacity to think that God will give me that same grace again, you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Then something got to be wrong with me. Thinking that, look, so...
I'm not talking about again. I'm talking about the original path, the original journey.
Here's the question.
I'm not even suggesting that you go down that path again.
So here's the question.
Or anybody.
No.
A second time.
Here's the question for all of these successful people. If you could change anything about your journey, what would you do differently?
That's how they talk.
Basically, you're saying that if you could do this again,
right.
this is the question. I hate that question because most of them never went through some that they barely made it out the skin of their teeth. So, bro, let me tell you something. I've been in home invasions.
Yeah.
I'm talking about where they kick the door in.
You're talking about the levels of shit.
This is necessary. When guns are pointed at your mom's fucking head and they say, call your son and he needs to bring money or else something's going to happen.
Right.
If I had the audacity to say, I wouldn't change a thing. You kidding me? What if that dude pulls the trigger this time on mom?
I got it. I got it. That's extreme. I wasn't even thinking like
of course
a gun pointed at somebody's head.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is this, is that, if I believe in the creator, right? And I'm destined to be, to this level of consciousness and be this successful and stuff like that, then I'm going to have a different journey, but I'm still going to be that dude. I'm going to figure out how to become that dude.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
Do you know why there's so many rags to riches stories? Is because people have hit their bottom, right? Absolutely. It might not be having a gun pointed at your head,
right?
But when there's so many rags to riches stories because somebody hit their bottom and their mind went to, okay, I'm on my back, I'm looking up. Yeah. That's the only place to go. Let's make this happen. Let's figure it out. But if they never got to that bottom, they never would have got to the place, the clarity, the focus, the discipline to go to the top. Very few people,
I'm with you,
have been handed, success, money, a whole bunch of, look at the lottery winners, right? Very few, look at NBA players, look at, professional athletes. Very few people have been handed success, quote unquote.
I don't know if you can say handed, but
you're right.
They've been, I think you're right. I think you're right.
And so I think, as it relates to the original question was, are you happy? Nah, probably not happy. Every single day now waking up going, oh, well, I'm happy I got to eat ramen noodles again. You're probably right when it comes to that. But looking back, it's like that was the thing that propelled them to where they are.
Yeah, we can go on forever.
I know. Let's go to we ain't got the second one yet. We got the second one yet. So the second principle talks about.
That was the first one.
That was only one. We only got to one. We only got to one.
We got part two coming already on this joint.
So the second one is, do that. The second one talks about, and this is really good. And I got to get y'all opinion on this. Like the Jewish community, they look at business as something that's good. They look at wealth as something that's good, something that's morally honest and noble. And I heard somebody, I saw a post just the other day talking about, I'm sick of these people always talking about money and being rich and yada, 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 yada. And almost implying that, having a great business and making money, that's a bad thing. That's the thing that's taken, capitalism is taken away from our society. But the Jewish community goes, no, if you're in business, you're working hard and you're making money and you're wealthy, that's noble. What do you guys, and I believe people who say that, they don't believe they can be that.
So I believe that is all right. So I think it's super dope that this culture ties morals and values to money and business, right?
Right.
But I don't believe that I believe, and I'm gonna use this term a number of times, that business is neutral. It's not good or bad until the person actually gets it. So
what's bad about
subjective.
business? I totally disagree. What's bad about, what could be possibly bad
Listen
about
to what
business?
I'm telling you.
I'm listening.
Business is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Put that tool in somebody's hand, and a gun is a tool. Right. So you're supposed to use it for protection.
That's step two. Who's holding the gun? Who's holding the tool? But step one is the business itself and
it's
creating
neutral.
an enterprise.
It's neutral.
It can't be neutral.
And then when the person gets it, then all right, so look.
I mean, you're almost talking about duality, right? And so you can look at anything and I hate the terms bad and good, right? Because you can shoot somebody and kill them.
So you don't know no shysters. You don't know no people that's doing business right now and getting over on people.
I do. But does that make business bad?
They're doing bad business, bro.
No, the individuals are bad, but business itself
was neutral,
right?
And that person is doing bad business.
Solving a problem for a bunch
themselves.
of people.
Everybody all businesses don't create win-win-win situations.
Oh, no, I'm talking about businesses that do. Like good business, period.
Well, I mean, how can we just talk about one part of business and leave out the rest?
Because you can take the business away from the shyster and it's still and it's good because you're a good person.
No, it's just going to be neutral until a shyster, another shyster picks it up.
So give me an example of a bad business without entering into putting a character in it. Give me an example of a business or business model that is bad without adding the human element.
I didn't say the business was bad. I said it was neutral.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think his question is, I think you taking it to a second step. He's saying, is business a bad or good principle, which he doesn't like the word, but is it a good thing or bad thing?
Yeah. I think business serves everyone. So if it serves you,
I say even bad businesses do good. Right? Because even on the path of destruction, some people are taken care of in that path of destruction.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
let me give you an example, right? So if you sold drugs, right?
Yeah.
Right? The money that you received was bad money, but you did good things with that money.
Yes.
So in the path of destruction, it would still produce some good.
Yeah. And somebody made drugs into a business.
Correct. But the principle of buying and selling is still business.
It's a big business now.
Is it good or bad?
So if you go back to the 90s.
Are we talking about over the counter or are we talking about?
No, not even that. But let's look at weed.
I get what you're saying.
You go back to the 90s, look at weed was just like, what? It was just this war on drugs, just people just selling weed. And it was terrible. You got people locked up right now because of weed. And now it is a multi-billion-dollar business.
I seen a meme the other day. A homeboy came home and he was standing in front of a billboard. He said, when I went in for this. Yeah. Now, as a billboard say, we will deliver your marijuana, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Right, exactly.
But anyways, I think the question you're asking, and I know it's motive to it, and I wrote a book called Money Myth, a very short book. It also has money myths, and one of it is that money is evil, right? And usually money is coincided with business, right? And so, in our community, we've been trained and taught. That was been handed down to us, get an education, go get a good job, get good benefits, retire in 30 years, right?
Right.
And so outside of that, if you make too much money, if your house is too big, if your car is too nice, you doing somebody you took advantage of somebody.
Somebody got shafted.
That's what's put into our brain.
Right.
Like if the doctor is driving a nice car, he's charging too much for his surgeries.
Right.
He's charging too much to save lives.
Right.
Right? If the roofer is driving a too nice of a truck, he's charging too much for that roof.
He's doing
That's
something.
the mentality that most of our community, but also that's a social, it's very prominent in our community, but it's also a social economic line. So it's not just it affects black people. That is people that are sit below a certain level anyways, train of thought.
Yeah.
And so so business in itself is a good thing unless it's put into the hands of a bad person.
That's with anything.
That's with anything.
That's
This
what a
chair
bat-
is
a
a nice
baseball
chair
bat.
until you hit me in the back with it.
Exactly. That's a baseball bat. Absolutely.
So we can do that all day, but the idea, the principle of our community thinking about business and money as almost a negative connotation to it.
Our community should have a great relationship with business and a great relationship with money. That's all I'm saying.
I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I'm just telling
Very
you
few.
that.
Very
But
few of us are like that, though.
I get it. And what I'm saying is I've always kind of got money on a higher level for my entire life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it from a place where I don't have a good relationship with business or a good relationship with money. And I've
Absolutely.
always dealt with people who I've never left a bad taste in their mouth.
Gotcha.
Even I was the favorite drug dealer.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the favorite coach and trainer in gym and you know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
whatever. But all I was saying is that when some other people get this stuff, it ain't all that good.
Gotcha.
I agree with
feel
that
you.
100%.
I feel you. Do you feel like you have a good relationship with money?
I've got a better relationship with money than I had in the past. The relationship with money don't care about you. It only cares that you understand the rules to the game.
Right.
And the more rules you understand about money, the better your relationship about it. Money is not a two-way street. It doesn't wait for you to understand who or what it is.
Yeah. Gotcha.
If you don't understand it, it will leave you.
Growing up, what was your lesson when it came to money? Growing up, like as a,
Here's the
adolescent. What
we didn't have these
lessons
damn
did you
we never had these
we did.
conversations.
So for me, my biggest lesson was that you gotta value this, and it don't come easy.
Money don't grow on trees.
Well, that was the one.
Yeah.
That was the one they used to tell us, but literally once it started to grow on trees for me, I didn't.
So
I didn't.
in my book, I say one of the myths was money don't grow on trees. And I said, that's a damn lie. Money do grow on trees.
Right.
We just had never planted none in
no
our
planted
backyard.
trees.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
My lesson was, here, son, take this money and go buy yourself something with it. So, if I get money, I gotta go spend it.
Yeah,
That was my lesson.
yeah.
Gotta go spend it. So for a long time,
I'm gonna tell you.
I got money to spend it.
I'm gonna tell you where my first lesson came from. This was a tough lesson. I mean, I was sent to the store with a note, which was the note was for us to borrow some food until Friday. You know what I mean? Until payday.
Gotcha.
And that was when it was like, yo, y'all ain't got no money, and you better figure out how to get some.
How old were you?
Probably 9.
And you came to that realization that,
You read that note.
we don't.
I read the note. Like I was inquisitive about what I was going to the store for, because I keep going to the store and I ain't exchanging no currency. I'm just giving this note and I keep coming back with stuff. So I'm like, this time,
Let me read.
yeah, let me see
how
what
are
the
we
fuck
getting
going
stuff?
on, because
Maybe I can write a
got
note like
bunch of
this.
paper at the crib and I can write me some
And a bunch of
notes.
stuff you want, right?
Yeah,
So
I
let
could
me write me a note.
at
right.
an early age and
Right.
figure out how to come out with a bag.
Right.
But like that, it set me on the path to do all the stuff that we talk about, like washing shoes and cutting hair and, you know what I'm saying, delivering papers and just being, shoveling snow and doing all that, raking leaves and stuff like that. So it was like,
Gotcha.
yeah, I ain't gonna keep going up in this joint asking for, food till Friday.
Yeah,
So I think that was my first
It's hard.
run-in.
It's hard, especially for young people. I actually saw a post. A young lady made a post that somebody was saying. I think like some celebrity was like, "Yo, y'all quit spending money on Versace and Prada and da da da." And their response to that was, "Yeah, that's because you did it already. So I should be able to do it right now, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta, so that notion is floating out there, especially with young people. And I think what the celebrity meant was, don't buy the stuff if you can't afford it. I think there's and I got a simple principle when it comes to affordability. If you can't buy 5 of them, don't buy it.
Yeah,
Not twice,
that's a good
but
principle.
5.
You can't buy 5 of them, don't buy it.
That's good
Yeah,
money.
you can't afford it.
Yeah, you gotta write that down.
You can't buy 5 of them, not twice.
So I think I seen another one probably a week or two ago, and it was talking about how those things are like a status symbol, and like we actually buy those as just so to make us feel like we've made it, like we're there.
Yeah, we're trying to borrow the influence of Versace,
of that name and that brand.
What was the principle again? I forgot. We got lost. What was the principle number 2?
Business, money, wealth is honorable.
Oh, the morals.
Yeah, what was this moral?
Moral,
and it's honorable.
yeah.
And it's not. Don't think of it as something that's negative.
But don't we see when that's taught to people that we know that they turn out pretty good? Like when you have a friend that's younger and their father may own a landscaping business or a carpet cleaning business, and they're taught that principle that money is good, business is good. Yeah. That they typically, not always,
sometimes
most time they take advantage of it, don't do anything. Yeah. We've seen the other extreme, right. But most of the time that value that they've been given about money and business usually leads them down a different path. Yeah. Usually split ways at high school at that point.
Yeah. So you know what? I think if we could pause right there for a second, because we say we got these values, right? But no, like, I mean, I do this stuff now and I do it with my community and everything, but when's the last time we actually sat down and wrote down some values? Like, we ain't really do that. And we don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get with us now and it's like, yo, we got to come from this and things like that. But if we can actually get people to, take a couple seconds and, later on or something like that, or after this podcast to actually write down a few values, then it might change the way you view some of this stuff or the way you move when you.
So when you say that, like open that up more, where you say write down some values.
Yeah. So like I had to do, I've done a few, personal development exercises as far as like trying to figure out what my core values are and things like that. And I have a few that like I stand by like pretty much all the time. And I think that's going to lead us to another principle as well. Yeah. But integrity is one of my like core values, like one of my most solid ones, where whatever I do, integrity is connected to it and everything. I believe that I can't do pretty much nothing without integrity tied to it. So like I can't be disciplined in my diet without integrity. Right. You know what I mean? Because I gotta be truthful to myself at the end of the day if I start cheating. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can't be truthful
and he will
to
tell
my wife.
Himself
that's a core value in the Air Force. Integrity first.
See what I'm saying? But that's like they gave that to because it's a structure, a systematic way, that institution, right? And that's education. So people learned core values through that system or through that institution, right? Yeah. But once we leave out of those institutions and we don't really have them no more, then who's giving us lessons on core values after that?
Great point.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why some of those places like we actually gotta go to because nobody has taught us that stuff.
And you get, and oftentimes you get those core values from people who have motives that don't serve you.
Absolutely. And that's the system.
Right?
That's the system or institution. Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, I had to go to the institution to come up with some of these joints. You know what I mean? But neither here nor there. That's why I'm actually teaching it to people now because I'm like, yo, look, our grandmoms ain't sit us down, our mothers ain't sit us down, our fathers wasn't around, most of us, and now here we are, we're telling people that you need to have values and you ain't never even had none, really. Like they're just unspoken. That makes sense. True your own joints. Because like he said, that most of the time they're given to us from somebody else. So I got integrity. You know what I value a lot now? Like freedom.
Oh, no doubt.
Once my shit was taken from me, it was just like, oh yeah. So that's one of my reasons that financial freedom is a must. My time, to be free with my time is a must. Like to be able to create the systems in my businesses so that I can get my time back because freedom is one of my core values. That makes sense? Yeah. Like totally. Even so, education is one of my core values, but the way I define education is different than everybody. I just want to be a lifelong learner. Like I just want 100%. To I just want to learn through whatever experience I get, and then I can, give that to other people.
Be inquisitive, like at 9 years old when you read that letter.
Absolutely.
Like always, I think that inner child at 2 years old, you know, when they say the child always asks why at 2, why?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
I think I still do that to this day, but it's an internal why, and I go find the answer because we got the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's super dope. Like that's my friend every day. I'm on Google.
So you said some of your you got integrity,
some like my top 3:
integrity, freedom,
and education. You know, things like that. But now, you know, I'm a fitness dude. So like health is one of my core values. I feel like you can't enjoy your money, you can't enjoy your time, 100%. Your freedom. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to enjoy your spouse and whatever it is that right without. And then, you know, relationships. So like that's kind of like, I don't know if that's my top 5, but them my strong 5, like starting 5.
So that's important. Yeah. So if you listen to this podcast, if you drive and don't do this now, but make a mental snapshot of this, go write down your top 5 core values.
Absolutely.
If you've ever been to any of my offices, the first thing you see when you walk in or in the conference room is a big roll-up thing that says that company's core values. And I learned that because I never knew what core values were until I was 17 years old when you had to memorize them.
Right.
The Air Force is integrity first, right? Service before self and excellence in all we do. And those things you stick with you. That's been 20 years, man.
Dope,
you know what I mean? That was 20 years ago.
Just think about them. Just think about them 3.
Yeah.
Integrity, service
before self. Service before self.
Yeah.
And excellence in all we do.
Excellence. Yeah. Come on, man.
What I mean, that's awesome because what it does is it gives you a framework for life. And it allows you to be proactive versus being reactive. So you're not getting bounced around all over the place as it relates to
but until you get back to the level of consciousness of what those core values actually do in your life, if you operate from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when we're there in that institution, we must operate from them or we're out of line. We're out of alignment.
Absolutely.
And when we get out here and we don't operate from them no more, guess what? We're still out of alignment.
Right.
And that's why our life is all over the place.
Yeah.
That's homework. That's homework. So if you listen to this podcast on YouTube, right in the bottom of what you're seeing, if you listen, right in the bottom of the comments section and just write out what your 5 core values are, right? Just those words or things.
That's dope.
And then if you go to our website, the Endgame podcast, in the comment section of this episode, write that down too. Like I want to know what your guys, because it's a true barometer or direction of where you should be at in life.
Yeah.
Well, it also brings us together.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Like literally, like, and I think that's another one of the principles or something like that about your network or something like that.
Yeah, we're about to go into the
next
leaders.
One. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, just real quick, I have pinned in my notes, my I am statements, what I desire to give to my relationship, what I desire for my mind, and what I desire for my body. So it may not be the structure of the values, but it's like, here's my framework, right? So I'm not going to go outside of those things.
Let's take a pause before we move to this next one.
Yeah.
Like people listening to this are listening to you and wondering what's all this quirky y'all talking about. Like in a sense, like you got some notes about you like, what do you like? You sound like some rich, break it down. Like why are you doing this now? Why is it important you're doing this type of stuff now? You're in the notes section of your phone, and you said you have your I am statements. What the hell is an I am statement?
Go ahead.
Yeah, the I am statement is just that two most powerful words that you can put together. And the I am statement, whatever you put behind the I am statement, that's what you'll become. The law of attraction says, if I think about it, if I write it down, if I tell you, if I put it out in the universe, that's what I will attract, period. No
I know you got a follow up to this, but this is corny, right? You know, that's what I'm saying from the spectrum of the audience. This, y'all saying some corny
Yeah.
But tell us why it's not.
It's pretty dope.
Tell us why it's not.
So here it is. So we've been conditioned to go to church. And when we go to church, and they're all going to agree with me on this, they're going to say that when the preacher or the pastor or the word tells them that life and death is in the power of the tongue, all of them can finish my statement. Like all of them can literally go right behind that. Now, if we start to actually believe that we can create life through our words, then they'll understand that whatever follows I am is going to follow you. So if they're the 2 most powerful words, and then if they start to say, oh, well, Jesus said, I am that I am, and then they're going to start to put all that together, and then they're going to say, oh, what? You know what? That's not corny. I've been actually taught that since birth. And now I'm hearing it from a guy who's such and such and such, like, they know the accolades now, but success leaves clues. And we talk about this all the time. So if this is what successful people are doing and you're not doing it and you don't have the success that the people who are doing it have, then maybe you should take some of this
corny. Take some of this
life
corny.
without question, because to you is corny.
But
right?
that's what I'm saying.
That's why we on. No, that's what I'm pointing over there. To you is corny. To you is corny, right? But we're actually breaking down these principles from the Jewish culture, which a lot of people don't really understand.
Right.
And that's why their relationship with business and money is different.
I'm about to. I'm gonna wait till the end. Keep going.
All right.
Keep going.
So the next principle.
I gotta write this down.
Let's jump
so
to the next
I don't
principle.
forget this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's jump to the next principle. The next principle talks about relationships.
Yeah.
And networking, right?
That's dope.
And why relationships and why networking is important as it relates to building and creating wealth, and why it's important for business, right?
Yeah.
And I being an introvert for years, I heard this.
Yeah.
And people told me, you gotta get out there, you gotta network and da da da. I'm like, I got a job, I'm good. And my job didn't depend on me networking because my job was 8 to 5, I had certain responsibilities. I'm good. And I don't want, a whole lot of social interaction drains me.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm gonna avoid that as much as possible. But talk about, how networking, especially in what you do, because you've built a community, right? You've built an entire community, and how networking, has kind of served, your business and wealth creation.
Yeah, the crazy part is you got corporations and companies and churches and stuff like that are actually like bringing me in now to figure out how I created community like I have, because their corporations don't have the culture and the churches don't have the kind of culture and results that we're actually getting with the kind of community that we built. Yeah. But I say this all the time, that all skills are transferable, man. Like, I literally learned how to network through sports. Like, sports, one, put you in a place where you got to be able to perform with, a different, a whole group of people and all be on one accord to get a certain job done. You know what I'm saying? And then that gives you another opportunity to probably do it on another level with some other people and things like that. And it's a level that, if you do it well in this first level, then you get another opportunity to meet some other people who are doing it on another level, right? And like, relationships, when you take these type of relationships and then you carry it over into business, you start to learn that everything isn't about the transaction. Everything isn't about just you doing, that one thing good. It's about how everybody could actually, benefit from it and stuff like that. So, I just went there because, like, when I went to jail, after like people telling on you, remember integrity? It was one of my top things, like mostly everybody told on the joint. And I kind of told myself that I wouldn't be cool with it, but I wouldn't have a bunch of friends. And now I got communities and all this stuff, but I wouldn't have it. And you guys are my friends and family, you know what I mean? So I went to jail and I started to relate to people through who that person reminded me of. Like, I would kind of talk to people and initiate a conversation or allow this person to talk to me if this person reminded me of. So I was using relationships. I was using past relationships and past like experiences to allow me to enter into new relationships. Like, it was crazy, like, you know what I mean, how it happened. And then I literally still told myself that I wasn't going to let people get close and all that. And everywhere I went, I started to form new communities and stuff like that. But anyway, you guys, like, even to this point right here, like the opportunities that I'm on the cusp of are all through relationships. Period. Because it's who you know will get you there and what you know will keep you there. So my continuous learning, my lifelong learning, all my education, all my experiences, my journey, all that stuff, it keeps getting me to different doors or different opportunities or different places and spaces with different people. And then what I do is I rely on that relationship to, take me, propel a little bit further or propel me to the next level. You understand what I'm saying? And I just think that, networking is so important, man, that if you don't, and I know I've been talking for a little while, but if you don't believe that, your circle of influence or your circumference, which is your circle of influence, is partly responsible for where you're at and where you're going, 100%. Then I think you gotta get a couple more bumps and bruises on your head before you understand. You gotta get hit.
I believe relationships are so important. We pay for them.
Yeah.
At a level that we are at, we pay for our relationships. Yeah. Sometimes it's money by either being in that room or that country club. Mm-hmm. You think I got floor seats because I watch basketball? Mm-hmm. I give a damn about no basketball. Mm-hmm. You think I paid $50,000 for some tickets because of basketball? Nope. Mm-hmm. I paid because of the proximity of who's going to be sitting on the floor with me.
That
who's
word
to the left? Who's to the right?
Say that word again, man.
Proximity. The proximity, because you know who sits in front of me? You know who sits in front of me at the basketball? The CEO of Lending Tree. Yeah. You know who sits in front of me? Right to the left of me? The guy who runs a black dude that runs a app rideshare program called Wave, who's also the technical director at Diddy's network.
Yeah.
Revolt,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Guy sitting next to me runs a couple dentist practices.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The guy sitting next to me over here is a retired NFL player.
Yeah.
Right? $50,000 got me in the door. You think I can't pull $50,000 from those relationships?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I paid $25,000 to be in masterminds because I know who was going to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you don't pay for it, but you pay to be in that proximity. And sometimes it's not money. Sometimes it's the value you can exchange with the group you're about to enter in with.
Absolutely.
So don't think that relationships are fake because you got to pay for them. Nah, when you get to a certain level, even when you start out, you need to be paying. It may not be money.
Yeah.
Right.
You exchange something of value.
What's crazy is that when I thought money grew on trees, I actually was in that proximity, but wasn't conscious enough to actually network with all those people. So I had row AA, section 124, the 76ers, like season tickets. You know what I mean? I had 2 seats, 1 and 2. I sat directly behind the visitors bench every freaking game. And literally, I wasn't networking. I wasn't hollering at. It was all a show for me. It was all that every time they come down court.
So you were in the proximity.
Yeah, I'm dripped, all that. You know what I mean? And here's jot this down.
Wow.
The proximity to the power is intoxicating to the people.
Get too close to the sun, you get burnt.
That's right. So everybody ain't conscious enough to make the proximity work for them. And if you get too close to the sun, then you might get burnt because the proximity to the power is intoxicating to the people.
Very much so. You start to believe that you are.
Tell a story about networking or about relationships that was like ridiculously fruitful and it just blew your mind.
Can I start? Let me start. Let me start.
Please.
All right, so check it out. So I got a gym, y'all. I don't know if y'all know about this. We've got a couple gyms now, right? A couple gyms, but at the time we had one. It was Washington Street, right? And this guy knew somebody that gifted him Rod knew somebody that gifted him a 30-day challenge. Like, what super dope for somebody to actually give you something that was going to benefit from you. How much weight did you lose?
Like 80 pounds.
Like 80 pounds. Somebody gifted him a 30-day. But anyway, we built a lot of value. We made that stuff work. But I do motivational talks after every class, right? And this guy used to go live for my motivational talks every day. Mm-hmm. And then this guy used to watch him through the joint. And then this guy invited me on the Mindset Monday. And then Mindset Monday led me to We Live. And I opened up the We Live joint. And that joint took me like this. So I don't know, but I just know that this relationship, right, where we had to build the value, and it was symbiotic because you came in, you even did some quarterly workshops for the entire company. You know what I mean, for us, right, which was super dope, and we was just exchanging value, back and forth. And then this guy came and he was like, "Yo, I gotta have him on the joint," and then from there he was like, "Yo, you're going to be the number 1 motivational speaker in the world," all this different type of stuff. It was just so dope. I don't know. I just appreciate y'all.
So what I want to pull out of that is, because some people say, well, I don't know how to network. Right? Yeah. So if there's someone that you want to network with, lead with value.
100%.
And like you
Or
said,
service.
Well, absolutely. So that service can be a part of the value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lead with, what can I do to help you, fulfill your dream? Here's my skill set. What can I do for free?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the
And
thing.
it ain't for free, really, but what can I do to sow into your life, to sow into your dream right now?
And here's the key. Don't ask that question. Observe and just bring it.
And bring it. Right.
Because now everybody knows
that takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
When you just see, that floor needs to be swept. Let me just go sweep that floor
because
without asking you, do you need that floor swept?
100%, because now my inbox is full of how can I add value? Some people ask me all the time, how can I add value?
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Right.
You should ask yourself, how can you add value to what I got going on?
Yeah.
Because I know how I can add value.
Tell us about what story do you have about networking or about a relationship that was forged that you just like, man, that blew your mind, that had some kind of something that served you ultimately. While you're thinking, I'm gonna tell one.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, you tell one.
So in my business, the software company that we had, so I was introduced to this potential client, right? We went in and we sold the client on the software. But the client was like, just complaining about, they got this big audit coming up. They got 1,000 patient charts that they needed audited, right? So somebody referred me to the guy, met with the guy. We had a great relationship. Me and one of my business partners were sitting in his office. So sold him the software. Typically salesman comes in, did their job. Okay, they're out. But he's complaining about this big audit. So I'm like, yeah, you got an audit? So yeah, I got to get this. I got to get 1,000 patient charts audited in 14 days, right? I'm like, 14 days? Like, how are you going to do that? I have no idea. And I said, I can get that done for you. Right? Have I ever audited a chart?
You have no idea how to do it.
I have no idea. Right? And so I said, I can get that done for you. So long story short, built 5 teams in 5 different cities, because he was in like 18 different cities. Built 5 teams in 5 different centralized cities, and we got 1,000 charts audited in 14 days and charged him $150,000.
Ooh.
So made $150,000 in 14 days because somebody referred us.
And you learned it
to this guy.
You built the parachute on the way down.
Built the parachute on the way down. Exactly. I said, I can get that done for you.
But I bet you whatever you did was worth more than 150 to him.
Absolutely.
Max, I got one more before you jump in.
I don't even know if I have
this
one.
This joint's super dope, though. This joint's super dope, though. So look, check this out. So one day I'm throwing this pool party. This is back in the day. Like I'm way younger, right? And I see this girl that I want to holler at, right? But I always like leverage relationships. Like, so I get another girl to introduce me to her.
Right.
But since I always got great relationships, I got another girl that I used to talk to introduce me to my wife. And the girl I used to talk to introduced me to my wife, and I'm married to her now.
Wow.
That's fruitful, wasn't it?
That's networking, bro. That's networking. That's networking for sure.
I don't know, man. I got so many, man. I mean, even the time I met you was out, and the crazy, I don't even remember who brought us together.
I remember.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't remember.
I remember.
Yeah, I really don't remember. But meeting you through somebody and then us exchanging value with each other. But I think it's become such a regular thing in my life.
Yeah.
My entire life's been like that.
Yeah,
like how I knew about real estate, how I got into real estate was all about relationships.
Absolutely.
Like the entire thing. And I learned that, like, that was the, how I got my first, how I owned my first restaurant at like 26 was relationships.
Right. The message is the message is ever done anything great alone.
No. When I say I built this by myself, I've been the one consistently here. But I had people help me all the way up.
All the way.
For sure.
All the way. Without a doubt. All right.
Shout
next
out
principle.
to everybody.
Next principle is leadership, and how being a solid leader is important to creating wealth.
We about to argue. I already know it. Go ahead, big dog.
We're definitely about to argue because you just put it out there. How leadership is important to creating wealth, and leadership is important to having a solid business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
100%.
what are we gonna argue about? Let's just go straight there. What we about to argue about? Especially when it comes to leadership.
I don't know. I just don't believe that there's like one true definition or standard for what a leader is or what it looks like.
I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue that point.
Not that, but sometimes we argue in different conversations about how people, you might think, I don't even want to say, some people may think that leaders, some people may think that leaders are born, and some people may think that leaders are learned, like that you can learn to be a leader. And I think that.
What do you think? Born or skill?
I think that, well, I mean, skills are things that you create that happen over and over and over again. Okay. So you can learn a skill. Like a lot of people don't come out the womb just being able to dribble, like have a dope handle.
Yeah, but a lot of basketball players aren't leaders that with dope handles.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying dribbling dope is a skill that was learned, because nobody really learned how to do a lot of this stuff. Now, yes, a lot of us do have some innate powers and abilities, and we got some superpowers or instincts when they come. But I think that we've been through a lot of stuff.
All right, let's stop talking hypotheticals.
Go ahead.
If I remember correctly, and I'm an elephant, you said you've always been a leader.
Absolutely.
That's what he said.
Okay.
That's what he said.
You said,
I think. Hold
on. No. This is court. I just asked you a question. You answer yes or no.
You can't be a lawyer on me, though. You can't be a lawyer. No further questions, Your Honor.
No further questions. So I respect my court. So he started trembling.
When you're paraphrasing, when I'm paraphrasing that answer, yes, but it was the $150,000 from the job that I didn't know how to do, but I learned how to do it on the fly.
That takes initiative. Nobody does that. That takes initiative from a leader. So I agree with you. I'm 50. I'm almost with you a little bit. I believe the things that you go through in life, small things that you learn, instill these principles in you that allow you to be a leader, AKA absorb the brunt of risk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I think a leader mainly does. Absorb the brunt of risk for everybody else behind them.
No, jot that down, y'all. Jot that down. Absorb the brunt of risk for people behind you.
Yeah, because that's what it's all about. To lead, you got to be able to be willing to get hit first.
Okay.
Right? That's why they say nobody leaves. You can't really lead from the back. You got to lead by example.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's my only definition, like honestly, but go ahead.
And so I think, because myself, I wouldn't even say I knew that I was a leader. There was, when I look back at my life, I knew that at 17, when I went to the military, if you know anybody in the Air Force, I was an element leader. I was at 17 years old, I was in charge of other grown men. Yeah. Right? I was a dorm leader. I was at 17 years old. Yeah. Now remember, when you're 17 and somebody's 24, that's an old head.
Right.
Yeah.
And he crying on his mattress talking about he want to go back home.
Yeah, he want to go home. Yeah.
So what did
my bad, go ahead.
Saying what did the instructor, the drill instructor, what did the chief, what did he see in me within 20 minutes to point at me and say, you're going to be a leader? I don't know.
So he watched a few things that you did, and he learned the principle: how you do anything is how you do everything. This guy has an upside. He has some fundamentals that I don't really have to teach him. And if we give him the structure of what leadership is now, then he can do it. Yeah. So he did that like that. Yeah. And that was the example. So
I mean, he saw that you want to get out front. You don't mind risk.
And you didn't have to be told to be the first out of your bed, or to have your boots, ready.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was, the bed to be made, all that stuff. And that's the thing that allowed me to be captain of all the sports teams. It was just like when we were doing the warm-ups, okay, it's jumping jacks now. You know what I'm saying? And from there, it's just
initiative.
like, all right, he's the captain. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Get out front and lead, Hunt.
But were you? Who taught you that?
I don't know. I don't know.
So to your point, what's your point?
Nah.
You said we're gonna be arguing. This was
this
was a real soft argument
Right, it
for
was
you,
quick,
man.
right?
No.
That mother just said, I don't know. I don't know.
I got tired of cats. Maybe for real, I probably got tired of cats not doing it right or making us look bad.
Okay, hold on a second. But for some people that don't bother them
At all.
That's what I'm saying. So when you see something wrong, you have the thing, or when you see somebody doing something wrong, you have the thing to want to go fix it. That's what also makes you a bad employee.
But we got to know that it's wrong.
Okay, but some people even know it's wrong and still walk past it.
So
that's what makes you a bad employee.
Yeah, but so sometimes even a bad employee doesn't get a consequence. Like,
explain that. Right there.
So you don't always reprimand.
There is no reprimand. You don't get in trouble for walking past a wrong situation, but you also don't get rewarded. You're probably going to get in trouble for trying to fix a wrong situation as a leader, but you take that risk because it irritates you to see it being done wrong, and it's done wrong.
Yeah.
Probably only when, I don't know if this is right or not, but only when you've already experienced like the backlash from it or the reprimand
and timing is a part of it too. Because if you do the right thing at the wrong time, that's going to breed resentment.
Yeah,
like, this is the right thing to do, but this is not the time to go to be doing that because we got
leaders know that.
Leaders know that, right? It's it'll breed resentment. I just believe that it's something. I think you have to have the personality, right? You have to. That's the thing on the inside of you, right? You got to have this kind of the personality in order to go learn the skills to become a successful leader.
Did you always have the personality?
You
seem kind of reserved.
Sometimes. I am, but that's
good. Some good leaders are reserved too, though.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, I'm saying like that. So I don't know what the personality is.
Yeah,
but
the person that
Yeah,
some leaders have dry personalities.
Yeah.
Super
like
dry.
Steve Jobs. Wouldn't he have a dry personality?
Yeah.
But you're charismatic.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's
Have you always been like that?
I don't know, but what happens is
What you mean you don't know? What's he talking about?
Why don't you?
I don't know.
For me, I here's what I do know. I know that when I learned at a young age, my father used to tell me you got the gift of gab. When I learned at a young age that I can convince people to follow me, if I can get them to believe what I'm saying, then I think I got real good at it. Yeah. I sharpened that skill.
The reality is, if you're not a leader unless someone follows you. If you don't have anyone following you, you're not a leader.
You're a loner.
Yeah. For the most part. If no one is following you, you're not a leader. Let me throw a wrinkle in this whole leadership thing. So in business, I believe there are three main skill sets you have to have inside of your business, your organization. You have to have an artist, right? And so the artist that's the cat that paints.
It's a visionary?
No.
Okay.
The artist is the cat that paints. They just want to paint. They don't care about anything else. They just want to paint.
That.
Bring me some more, bring more canvas. I need more paint. I need more brushes. Slide pizza and Pop-Tarts under the door. I'm good, right?
Okay.
So then
come back. It's coming back to me.
So then this dude walks in and he goes, "Oh my God, look at all this incredible art.
Yeah.
You should have galleries."
Yeah.
So that's the entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur goes, "You should have galleries." And the artist is like, "All right, whatever. I just love to paint." Right?
You got more pizza?
You got exactly. Any more Pop-Tarts? Absolutely, right? So then this other guy or this lady overhears the conversation, and she says to the entrepreneur, "Listen, if you get them open, I can run them." So you got your leader / manager, you got your entrepreneur, and you got your artist. Most people think they're all three.
Yeah.
Most people are not. Most people have a core competency of one, and they may be able to wing another one, but they're very uncomfortable winging the second one, right? So an artist can have a business, but the artist has to have the entrepreneur and has to have the leader inside the organization, right? So, okay, now based on that, if you believe me, right? Based on that,
let's go. If we
which
believe
one
you.
are you?
I am the entrepreneur and I can wing running it.
Okay.
Can I say something?
That was quick. Like you absolutely.
I was analyzing as you were
Okay,
saying.
gotcha.
He read
Okay,
the
he
book
was ready.
too. He read the shit too.
No, I never read that joint.
Yo, I'll be looking at y'all, and I know what you just said, but say what you just said. You
I said
you said you're an entrepreneur.
I'm the
and you
entrepreneur. I can wing running it.
But you painted all this, dog.
That's why I said the visionary. If you heard me asking about the visionary, so I think the entrepreneur's got to have the vision to see that
Absolutely.
artist's work is some. So I have a vision. I have a way to have a vision, but that vision I'm not the guy painting it though. Most of the time, I can
Right.
direct you. I can hire the painters.
Yeah.
You think I'm wrong? I just want to hear it because
Yes.
I've never asked the question. Remember the last
I don't
episode?
agree. Yeah.
You asked the question. I will never ask that question. I don't sure what you.
Paints, man. You paint.
I disagree.
You don't think he paints?
No, I think he is like Steve Jobs
Matt paints.
and Matt paints. I think he's like Steve Jobs. Hear me out. Please disagree.
I hired him to paint though.
Vehemently. So Steve Jobs and what?
You
Steve.
didn't want to paint no more, bro.
Nah.
Okay, he got.
You know what I'm talking
He got
about?
a point
Nah.
though.
On this one.
He
Go ahead.
got a
Go
point.
ahead.
He
Go
would
ahead.
be painting if he would be painting if he wanted to paint. An artist, that's Basquiat. All he did was paint. He didn't want to do nothing else. Calm down. Calm down.
Maybe I was winging it. Maybe I was winging it.
All he wanted to do was paint. When the lady came to him and said, "Hey, let me sell your stuff in the gallery," he's like, "All right, whatever." Then he started getting checks and yada yada. Rest is history. Steve Jobs, right? What was your boy? Steve. What was the other?
Steve Wozniak.
Yeah, Wozniak says to him one day. He says, "What do you do?" Talking to Steve Jobs. This is Steve Jobs. What do you do? You don't code. You don't design. What do you do? Steve Jobs said, "I play the orchestra. I'm the maestro. I don't play the flute. I don't play the oboe. I don't play the kettle drum. I play the orchestra." So I think he plays the orchestra.
Hey, yo, man. All that shit, man.
Why?
Yo,
Why?
Because, man, listen,
Why?
creating gives you meaning for your existence, man.
He knows.
Create. Yo,
Nah,
listen,
nah.
you create. I've
Bruh,
seen you create, bro. I've seen you paint.
I know how I
know
want
you're
the
an
flute. I know
entrepreneur.
how I want the flute to sound. I know how loud I want it played. But bruh, I helped run a software company for 15 years and
'Cause you
never
on
wrote a line of code.
That's because you on
A single line of
semantics.
code.
You just want this to work for painting and all that other shit, but you actually painted most of that shit, dog. And then you got the people in there that could actually write the code.
Let's say I painted it, right? That's not my strong suit. That's not my core competency.
it don't mean you ain't.
So
a
Lynch,
painter.
what are you? Which
No,
one
I'm
you
not
do?
saying-
I do a little bit of
I'm-
everything.
I'm not
I do a little
right.
bit of
But
everything.
what is like, what's the thing?
I ain't I'm a jack of all trades.
I know you're a jack of all trades.
I got all three of them. I rock with them.
No, what do you do best? You do
I don't-
one absolutely better than any
Talk
other.
shit.
I think Lynch. I think to answer. I think I can do all three of them because of just experience. I know what I'm good. Here's what I know what I'm good at.
Okay.
I am good at starting a business, putting the people in place, and making sure that it sounds the way I want it to sound and runs the way I want it to run. And because I've done that with many things. You can go. I can take you to the airplane hangar. This past 7 days, I've spent more time in the airplane hangar than I've ever spent in the last year and a half, and I've been there 3 days in a row.
What are you doing there?
We opened up the new flight school, so I'm now orchestrating all these pieces of the puzzle together. I'm the leader. I'm drumming up people's excitement.
So was the flight school there before?
No.
How did flight school get there?
Vision.
It was a vision that I had a
That's
while
not
ago.
Yeah, but he didn't walk.
Artists doesn't have vision.
Hold on.
It was a vision.
Hold on. Y'all bugging.
No.
Y'all tripping.
No.
Yo, to create something, you gotta have a vision. So artists don't just grab the damn thing and just start going like this, and then I'm Basquiat now.
No.
He's a damn creator.
You can have vision to come up with a dope mural, right? Yes. Can you paint the mural? No.
Jesus Christ. And that's
Can
what
you
I'm
paint
talking
the
about.
mural?
And that's what I'm talking about. You
need someone that can paint the mural.
And I said, for the sake of this conversation.
So in that example, are you the visionary or are you the artist?
I'm the visionary.
Absolutely.
Now, take the word visionary out, take the word artist out, and put the word create in there. Put the entrepreneur in there. Take all of those words out and tell me where creator goes in all of those. They actually fit all three of them. Because in order to be an entrepreneur, you got to create.
Now you're playing with semantics. Now
you wanted to make yours work. Why I can't make mine work?
I was very specific, very, very defined. Now,
all right, so
now that's semantics.
I want to go back to this book of principles.
Yeah.
Where are we at on this list of 9 things?
I don't know where.
We at about 7.
I ain't worried about the time.
We're 6.
All right, where are we? Okay, let's go to, that was 5.
5.
That was only 5.
Damn.
Real quick. So in the Jewish culture or community, when they're building something or creating something, they don't believe it has to be perfect to get going. They're just like, okay, let's go.
I agree with that.
Let's go.
I agree with it 100% too. That's why I'm telling you I'm cool with being a little bit of all three. Because I know this shit ain't got to be perfect. If I can paint a little bit, if I can create, and I know how to get this motherfucker to the market, let's rock and roll.
So in your, I don't know how you drug us back into the last principle, but I'll go with you. So in your second AWOL location, right? Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of like dope murals and sayings painted on the walls, right? Did you do those?
Nope.
Can you? Whoa. Can you do them?
Yep.
You could, right?
Yep.
Okay. So why didn't you?
You should see how I created it.
Why didn't you?
Because somebody else can do it better.
That's it. That's it.
No. Look.
And listen, can they do it? Whoa, hold on. Can they do it? Could they have done it better?
Bro,
wait. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Could they have done it better 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Could they have done it better a year ago?
Yeah.
Can they do it better a year from now?
I feel like I'm on.
Can they do it better a year? Will they be able to do it better?
I've been in jail. I hate the DAs and all that. I hate all of them.
Will they be better at doing it a year from now?
After I answer this question, that's what I need to know before I finish.
Okay, I'm. That's the last question.
All right, now,
will they be better? You didn't answer the question. Will they be better a year from now doing it? Better than you?
Can I tell you something?
It's a yes or no question.
Without the opportunity that I gave that artist through my vision and my creation, that making more money now than he ever made before.
That's not what I asked you. Will, because you're right. Your vision, was the fuel.
Can I tell you
his success?
You in the group that I sent the damn. I put all these little.
That's a yes or no question.
Bro, can I tell you something?
Will he be better a year from now?
Can I talk to Max?
Talk to Max. I'll just sit here.
He's going to be better a year from now because we actually came up with a system for him to bang these murals out left and right. Like, boom, we got the dude put them on a projector now where he don't mess them up.
Did he come up with the system or did you come up with the system? Will you answer?
He come up with no damn system.
You came up with the system. You came up with the system, right?
So you're the entrepreneur.
Thank you. You want to talk to Matt?
With his theory,
case rested.
With his theory though, with his 3 characters in the beginning,
case rested.
Because this talking about painting and I'm talking about creating.
I guess it's relative.
Case.
That's all I said.
Here's the cool shit about the Endgame. You don't have to agree.
Yeah.
Because we all successful on our own path.
Because we ain't even talk about the Endgame yet.
Yeah, we gonna get to it because we ain't got to the end yet.
We're getting there.
Do we got to do all 9 of these?
Come on, man.
That was quick. We on 6, 7 now.
7.
Are we past that one? Did we?
We agree on that.
I don't even know what that was.
Listen. So here's the thing. Most people are afraid to get started because they don't know steps A through Z.
Right.
That's BS. And here's what I tell people. Here's what I tell people. That's an excuse for you. Lack of you wanting to say that you're afraid to fail. That's all that is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So when you you listen to the previous 3 episodes, you will understand that failure is a part of the journey. So therefore, even if you think you have everything put together,
right,
you will still fail.
Right.
Yeah.
Period.
They said if you want to succeed faster, fail faster.
Yeah, that's it. Period. So don't.
He's 13.
Yeah, you looking at number 13.
Number 13.
You know me from 13. I haven't told you about 14, 15, or 16, or 17, because those were all home runs too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of those
Yeah.
soon.
We'll talk about.
So we agree that
the
people who don't get started, because you're right, and all you gotta do is change their state of mind.
Or
they have to change their state of mind.
You know what somebody says? I'm a perfectionist. No, you're afraid of failing. Shut up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you ain't never did shit perfect.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Ever.
That's dope.
I'm a perfectionist. No,
never-
you're afraid of failing. Say it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if, like I said, if you change their state of mind, they'll get it done. You know, the example that I tell people is like, okay, especially people who they want to be coached on starting a business, right? I'm like, just get started, right? And then I don't know, I got to do, maybe. Okay, what would happen if I came and kidnapped your daughter in 6 months if you didn't have a business started? Oh, I get it done. No, what was the difference between 3 seconds ago and right now? Is your state of mind. That was it, right?
That motive.
And that motive to go get it done. So so the Jewish culture, they don't believe in like that perfection thing, and they just like, let's go.
Just go get it
Let's
done.
go. Yeah, absolutely. The next one is
I'm about to come up with my own 9 or 10 joints.
Please do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know you can. The next one is
Get shit done.
forecasting the future. So they're taught to be able to forecast the future and whatever it is that they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Which means that I see what's going on right now. I saw what went on in the past. So I'm going to take that information and also, the information that I have about this thing, and I'm going to predict what's going to happen at some point in the future. And I'm so confident in my prediction, I'm going to start making the changes to adjust to that prediction right now. Have you guys ever had to be in a situation like that where
Constantly.
you had to pivot?
Entrepreneurs, we're constantly doing that.
Right. What did COVID do to your business?
Man, we had to pivot online ASAP. Man, we had to make that joint happen digitally.
Right.
Like, super fast.
Right.
And it was like do or die.
Yeah.
That's common during COVID.
Right.
That was a common
was
thing, but a
forced.
lot of people didn't make it through.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't pivot, though.
what's
They just tried to
crazy
wait
about
it out.
Church, I see churches struggling.
Oh yeah, big time. You know what's crazy about
I
that?
almost created a business for that. I ain't gonna lie. We were gonna call it the Christian. We're gonna call it. You remember? We was in the. Remember we had the mastermind with We was sitting there and I was like, yo, I'll create this where I'll
yeah.
I'm gonna hit the churches in the head every Sunday, and I'm gonna come through and have it because I got a live setups where I got multiple live setups. The whole thing cost me $5,500 to put together.
Yeah.
I pop in your church because you needed to pass the plate. Digitally passing the plate. They figured that part out. They was passing the plate digitally.
Right. Yeah.
But you needed the show to go on.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided to go against it. But
Why didn't you do it?
timing.
Backlash. Oh, okay.
No, backlash. Backlash
Gotcha.
for what?
I don't know. I'm just churches, and that's sacred.
People give their money to
That's
church
what-
every Sunday. I was just gonna get
Was that a good moral business?
Yeah.
I'm just taking it back to the
Absolutely.
joint, man.
Of course it was.
Yeah, it's all good.
Would it solve a problem?
Man, it's all good.
But hold on. Hold on.
I
Wait.
used to stretch the coke.
No.
If
If the church, which is most churches did not have the audio and visual capabilities.
They know how to do it.
Think what's our guy? I'm not even gonna put his name out there. No matter.
Yeah.
Right. It was in the beginning. It was a struggle.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So to figure that out, she paid somebody to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
So
might as well pay you.
what's crazy?
I just asked. Look.
What's crazy about COVID? We went 100% remote. So we stopped coming to our office.
Yeah, we did that too.
Right?
Yeah.
What's crazy about that is probably a year or two before COVID, we talked about doing that and talked ourselves out of it.
Mm.
We came up with stuff like, what about how we're gonna get faxes? What about the fax machine? What about this? What about that? What about
And
this?
it was the same.
And then we were forced to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like
They kidnapped our kids.
And then we're like, we
And
don't
we
need
made it happen.
Absolutely. And then we're like, oh, we don't need this. We don't need
Yeah.
these.
Luckily,
Because
right,
we're doing good business and
At home.
everybody's at home.
we right before COVID, we had bought all the employees new laptops and stuff like that. And luckily, we did that before COVID.
Yeah.
And it took us 6 weeks to figure it out,
Right.
Yeah.
to really get a well-oiled machine.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was something we in terms of like futuristic thinking, we're like,
Now,
oh man, we
you
can do
don't
this from
leave the
home.
house now.
Yeah, I set this up.
It's dope.
Right.
Yeah.
So What about some other things that you've kind of been forced to, or let's do this. Let's predict the future. What's the future in media? Since this is a media platform, what's the future in media?
Well, the present is, so here's the thing. We're going to talk about the Jewish culture and being able to predict media. Media will forever be the same. It's the same principle of media.
Explain that.
Yeah, right. So if you're not paying for something, you are the product. So media has always been like that. You pay very little pennies for TV shows to watch. So let's think about this. In the beginning, it was newspapers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most newspapers were very cheap or almost free, right? Remember when you used to pull out newspapers and read it?
Yeah.
Well, why did you get a free newspaper?
Yeah.
Right? Because they that's how they did their subscriber count.
Mm-hmm.
How many papers were delivered at doorsteps? So you having a paper delivered at your doorstep allowed the medium, remember the medium of news changes, but of media changes, but media will always be the same. So newspapers changed to TV, radio, right? Radio was, how much money was radio? Radio was free.
Whatever the radio cost you, but outside of that,
radio was free.
Yeah.
And so how many listeners charged for your joints? Then it went to TV.
Viewers.
When it went to viewers, more spots for your commercial. Then it went to YouTube.
Right.
People making personal videos. Now here's where the shift happened. Instead of being a large conglomerate controlling the media, it then went to individuals.
Controlling the media, yeah.
And then when YouTube started, if you remember, people started to run YouTube's like media channels in the sense that one company would own your biggest YouTubers. I don't know if you guys knew that.
No, I didn't
so
know
some
that.
of your biggest YouTubers will end up being owned by one company, and that company end up selling to Disney. Right? And then it democratized again. And now individual creators have become the media. And now brands have to go to the individual brands, the companies, the person, the creators, to be able to go out and sell their products, get their products out.
They're cool.
Right? Right now you're listening.
They're cool draws.
Yeah, they're cool. Right now you're listening to this podcast for free. You're watching it for free.
Right.
And if you're watching it on YouTube and you're paying, that means you cut out the ads.
Right.
Matter of fact, I have a YouTube where I don't.
Right.
I pay, I don't know, $5-6 a month. I don't
pay for that.
I don't see ads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And so the ones that watch it for free, the ads that are popping here is how you pay for this show to come on.
Right.
In return, once we get enough viewers, there will be money that flows in here. Would it ever be enough for us to care about? Probably not. Right. But the idea behind it is media is always the same. Now, here's what won't change. Who controls the media outlets as it bounces? Who controls the mediums? It's always been the same.
Okay.
Right? Who control what the medium is changes. Who controls it will always be the same.
So going forward in the future, let's fast forward 5 years from now. The owners of media will be the same. Is that what you're saying?
The owners of the medium, and how it's delivered,
right,
will always be the same. Right now, we don't own Apple or Spotify,
right,
or any of these media places that these things are being distributed on.
Right.
Yes, we can make it now. We don't have to be owned by anybody to be able to make this podcast.
Right.
You don't own YouTube. We don't own any of these things.
So we're talking about the distribution.
It's the medium.
Gotcha.
The TV, the newspaper, the radio.
So why couldn't there be more distribution platforms?
There can be. There will be, but they will still be bought by the same people who own.
Okay. So with that fact, and I'm going to believe you, right? So because I believe the information you shared, I believe it's just information we agree with.
Well, you got to understand, here's one of the principles that I need to be able to predict the future, right? That's one of the Jewish principles, right?
Yep.
I'm telling you what I've watched in the beginning,
right,
what I've seen coming up, what I'm a part of now, and where I know it's heading. I've been saying podcasters are the new rappers for a long time. I'm on wax with that 3 years ago.
So how does that serve us, and how does that serve that prediction serves the people that are watching?
what you have to be careful of is who owns the medium or the creator that is distributing the content. Right? Right now.
What does that mean? Be careful of them. What do you mean?
Well, who's paying us right now?
No one.
Nobody. We're not getting paid.
Right.
As somebody starts to pay us,
Right.
and if it comes from the people watching, right, then we're still never controlled.
Right.
If my paycheck comes from somebody, then I have to be careful.
You gotta be careful,
The information that I said, or my show topics can be swayed in a way that
Right.
Yeah, there's some control. Yeah.
Right.
that's
why people, some artists want to be independent, so they don't have that pressure, or they don't want to have, they don't want to take money from certain avenues, so they don't have that pressure.
And if you get too raggedy, then they just cut you, they cancel you.
Right.
Then you can't get anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Meek Mill said, they just kill your check. Gotcha. Cool. That's dope. So predict the future.
So what you just telling me is that I'm a 46-year-old rapper.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you are.
In a rookie season.
Yeah. We'll call
Damn,
you. Call you
Kill
MC.
my whole dream.
No, it's not. It's not.
MC Hunt.
It's not a bad thing.
Kill.
MC Kill.
Now here's what I'm saying. It's not a bad thing. What I'm saying by the new rapper, I'm saying the new.
No.
I know you're joking, but it's the new attention.
Yeah.
But here's the dope thing in this new medium is that the voices of people who look like us are now being heard without any immediate supervision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so now you get to hear from people like us or like other people.
Yeah, it's dope for real cats though.
Yeah.
Because we got the
but
good morals and values and things
like I said,
that.
the good thing is also the bad thing.
Orchestra.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because we paint.
So what's
You
another
painted?
one? What's
You
another
painted
one?
the joint?
Another what?
Another principle.
Oh, we're on the last one.
That was the last one?
No, we got one more.
Oh, what's the last one?
Last one is simply that culture, the Jewish culture. They don't believe in retire. They don't believe in that the idea or
I
the
think
notion.
we can all agree on that.
Or the
end
construct of retirement.
Yeah.
Retirement is associated with a job that you eventually want to walk away from.
Absolutely.
When you create something that you do every day, you don't really want to walk away from it. You buy more freedom by getting good at that thing.
Yeah.
So you can step in and out as you please. But once you retire from a job, you don't show up to work on Thursdays just because I don't have nothing to do anymore on Thursdays.
But I know entrepreneurs that have retired.
No, they never retired.
They all right. That's what they said they did.
That's what they said.
Right.
They stopped doing the day-to-day things that they were doing, but that mind and their investments or that consultation that they're doing, they can never put that mind at rest.
They can stop,
the moment they put that mind at rest, they die.
They die. And I think that's one of the things that they said.
I bet they're still creating. I bet they're still creating.
So that's the what you just said is why that culture says no, we don't retire. Because I think in some definition or one of the definitions of retire is death or dead. And so that when I was a financial advisor, I saw it all the time.
Damn.
I saw people amassed a lot of money and retire officially from that 30-year job.
Fishing.
And exactly. And then 6 months, I mean, I saw it countless amounts of times, 6 to 18 months, they're dead.
Who wants to live? That is the American dream currently.
It is.
They died.
Dang.
Now, my question, all these principles are great, and I hope people went and wrote these down.
Yep.
As a black man in America, what are our 9 principles?
What's the 9 principles of the homie that y'all wanted me to support a couple weeks ago on the podcast? Where y'all was talking about the black businesses and y'all just go support them. You talk about they 9 principles.
No, but here's
before we leave.
No, this is a serious thing though. I get what you're saying.
I'm super serious.
No, I know you are. I know you are. But
But
why doesn't our culture have a book like that? Or why name 9? Name 3.
So
look, I got
Not
a question.
yours.
I know. I got a question too, though. My question.
Let me ask a quick question. So what if I never said that these 9 principles came from a book written by a rabbi?
I would have guessed it.
You would have guessed it.
100%.
But so they don't apply to. You're saying they don't.
They apply to anybody who wants to be successful.
Exactly.
That's not the point, though.
What's the point?
The point, though, is that they have that culture within their community.
Right.
And so they have a
No, you're right.
barometer.
Yeah,
they
you're
have a North Star. They have principles.
Yeah.
They have something that guides them.
'Cause the
So what
culture-
I'm asking is,
Yeah.
what is ours? And if we don't, how the hell do we get one and fix one? Because if we don't, what's the purpose?
Because the culture, all the culture is rules. If you want to change the culture, you just change the rules.
Rules is a bad word. How dare you?
Yeah, a rule is a great word. Because
No, I agree with you.
will
I'm
give you
Muslim. I
structure.
live by rules.
Rules will give you structure
And laws. Laws is
discipline.
not a bad word.
Laws and principles, they govern the universe, right? So, no, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. And what are they? God, I'm sitting here racking my brain to. I think there are, especially when you look at because within our culture there are subcultures, and so within some of the subcultures there are rules. So this guy couldn't have run.
Okay, I agree.
Built
with
an
that.
$8.3 million drug ring without some rules in place. Without
I think
that's a subculture.
But I think
I
think that's an organization at that point, and every organization that is successful has a set of rules. But my point
drug
is,
business an organization or a culture? You had an organization, but is that a culture?
Hey man, I'm glad that they didn't RICO organization.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Glad I ain't getting no RICO. You know what I'm saying? But yes, this is organized. But I just don't know why. If we know that they don't got no damn principles, y'all gonna make me support them.
Yeah, you still back to that, man.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They don't. Our culture doesn't have principles.
Can we just borrow these principles or no?
No, I think no, we shouldn't.
Okay.
I think we should apply some of them, but I think that all of them are factual and will work for us.
Right.
But I think we have to purposely go out and develop our own core principles, even if we borrow from them.
Yeah. We definitely need legacy principles.
We identified a problem, and as an entrepreneur, we cannot leave it unturned. How do we fix it? I don't say we get that answer today.
Right.
But where
let's do
and
that.
how do we get?
We're going to create the principles.
We're going to create the principles for Black America, or you said Black men, Black America.
I don't think you separate men and women.
Because there's some cultural things. Denzel Washington did this talk. Somebody asked him why. I think the movie was Fences. They said, well, why did you have to have a Black director? And his response was, it's not race, it's about culture, because, anybody could have directed Schindler's List, right? But it took a Jewish director to understand the culture of that community. So you're right. So some of the rules or those principles need to be tied directly to culture. And if they're tied directly to culture, then they absolutely can. We can, like you said, borrow some, but we absolutely can have wrong, without a doubt, 100%.
Yeah, we gotta do it our own.
Yeah, let's do it.
So you say you want to write?
So once again, I ain't about to paint the whole picture.
No, us,
right?
Collectively.
Yeah, we're gonna write.
No,
we're gonna write the joint.
But you can.
But
you don't want to.
No, he can. He can do
this
it.
dude is not
That ain't what you want to
understanding
call
what's
me.
going on.
That ain't what you want to call me.
And I'm not supporting all the businesses either, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. Because
we know.
And right now you acting about it with this paint shit, man. So I'm not about to paint the whole book, because I'm at a level now where what we're gonna do is we're gonna write the principles, right? And we're gonna have enough of the meat and potatoes from all of our micros and all of our podcasts and things like that. We're gonna gather all the information and we're gonna give it to the writer, the actual painter.
I got it.
But I'm gonna put it all in a joint so that we have it and say, boom. And if we need to be,
you're gonna go against a subculture in our culture. So
a subculture cannot exist without the culture. Subcultures in main cultures usually hurt the actual culture,
Without question.
right? Because you can't derive from something that you don't have a principle from.
Right.
So you can't create a subculture from something that
doesn't exist. Right?
doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're part of the culture.
You got to pull from the culture.
Yeah, fix that.
In order to create
Fix
the
that.
subculture. Right.
Fix that.
But the book you're talking about writing is going to go against a bunch of the principles of some of the subcultures within our culture.
They're goofy principles.
I agree. I'm just saying.
They're goofy.
Give me one.
Be
Be
ready
ready
for
before
the
we
quiz,
leave.
man.
Give me one.
A goofy principle?
I mean, pick
No,
a
that's gonna go against-
pick a 2022 rap song, and some of the things that
No
are said.
snitching. No stuff like I don't even want to get to that right now. Let's not do that because I know where you're going. But the point is listen, we'll pick this up later.
All right.
But what is our culture?
Depends on who you ask. You got
That's the problem.
You got
That's
the,
already
you got
the problem.
the religious culture that has a whole
Don't even
different
get me.
language, that has a whole different
We're not
set
doing
of
it. We're not
principles.
doing it.
And religious, not faith, not not spiritual, but you got the religious culture. You have the rap culture that has a whole set of rules and principles.
There's no rules to that.
You have there are rules.
No, that's goofinism.
It's right. That's
Goofinism.
I agree.
That's fake.
I agree, but I'm saying it's there though.
Who owns that medium?
Jimmy Iovine and his
All right,
boys.
let's stop the
And his
podcast.
boys.
let's stop the podcast.
Jimmy Iovine and his boys.
All
All right, real quick. How you guys doing? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically.
Awesome.
Your business. How you guys doing?
I feel great, man.
Feel great. Scale of 1 to 10, where you sitting?
Right now, let me say 8 because I had to run up and down 6 flights of steps to move in my daughter to college.
That's a blessing.
A million times.
Got to do
for
that.
3 days.
You got to go up and down 8 flights.
No, because here's what it was. It was everybody was moving at the same time and the elevator is backed up. So I could actually get down and up the steps 3-4 times before those people get up the elevator one time. So I literally was on my AWOL workout stuff, but I was dolo. So I'm usually a 10, but you know what I'm saying? I used up a lot of gas. Word. Yeah, but I'm doing awesome, and it felt good to be able to knock that out.
Where you at? 1 to 10.
I'm an 8.
Okay. Is that across the board? That's business. That's mental. That's spiritual. The whole nine.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give my life an 8 right now. Still, business is fine. Business is great. Actually, I'm excited. We launched our new flight school, which we're gonna focus on upping the numbers of minority pilots. There's a big shortage of pilots right now, and we're gonna be giving away. I haven't even said anything about. We're gonna give away 2 full ride scholarships to our flight academy. That's gonna take an underprivileged kid from high school, right, junior, senior, and give them a full. This is like college. Give them a full ride all the way until they reach airlines. So they'll be flying for the airline.
Wow.
And so that's gonna be awesome.
What an education.
That's
$100,000. It's worth $100,000.
No, I'm just saying, like that's going to be an experience.
Yeah,
an education.
It'd be cool to document this person's journey too. I think
that's a gift that keeps on giving.
And so that's amazing. Life is amazing. Marriage is good. Working on my health. That's where the 8 comes in. And so I'm getting there. I got a plan.
He's gonna hang out with me for a little while.
Yep. Me and my wife and the producer Matt's coming.
Let's go, Matt. Turn up.
Yeah.
Matt shook his head no.
Yeah. So we all gonna be up there. But I'm an 8, man. How about you?
Hey, I think about a 7.
Okay.
I just got a lot going on.
Yeah,
a lot going on. Mom has some health challenges. So that's kind of weighing on me. But business, again, about a 7. So across the board, relationships cool. Kids are cool. So across the board, about a 7. Yeah.
So we had a 7, 8, and 8.
Yeah.
7, 8, and 8. Yeah. I'll be 10 in a couple days. My mom coming down.
Nice.
So she's gonna spend about 4 days.
Nice.
That's pretty dope.
Good stuff, man.
Well, let's hopefully your mother gets better. And this is
Yeah.
good. But I think we left people with some homework.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that was
And we got to
This
continue
was
this conversation.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. As they say from down home.
No, we gotta write the.
We're gonna write that.
The commandments. Yeah.
Commandments for the culture.
Yeah.
All right. That's good stuff, man.
Let's do it.
You guys were tapped into the Endgame podcast. I'm Rod Brown.
I'm Max Maxwell.
I'm Lynch Hunt.
And we out.
Peace. Oh. Do your thing. You're
you try to leave early. That's right.
Yeah,
Yo,
you gotta
if you
ding,
please do us a
ding,
favor.
and-
If you're listening on podcast land, go give us a 5-star rating and leave a comment. That really motivates us to keep going. We're trying to get to episode 25 and look back and see what kind of damage and good we have done.
Absolutely.
And if you're on the YouTube world and you're not subscribed, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Also turn on the bell and the notifications so you know when we drop.
Yeah.
And share this joint. Please share this. Share this. This is like fly on the wall conversations.
Yeah.
And now we're out. Peace.
Peace.